Mike here.
Phish. And we're so happy to have you on here. I know already the phones are going nuts to talk to you, but I wanted to talk to you from the band's perspective. I mean, you guys are a live band. That's where you kind of your trademark is. I guess when people think of Phish, they think of the live performances, and they're not even performances, more of events. How did you go into this album this time, with Steve Lillywhite even helping you, to get that live feel in the studio, or did that not matter this time?
Well, I think we tried to get away from trying to get the live feel. I think that might have been our downfall on previous albums. For the first 6 weeks, our intent was to insulate ourselves from the outside world and lock ourselves in a barn up in the woods for 6 weeks, which is what we did. And then Steve came in at that point. So I think we had rediscovered some direction by then, and he kind of helped us realize it.
Who recommended Steve? I mean, that's an interesting matchup.
Our bass player, Mike, funny enough.
I think it might have been Dave Matthews, actually.
Dave.
Okay.
Dave recommended it. We were working with this engineer, John Siket, who was quite a character and a great engineer. It was the same engineer that Dave had. Dave was working in the barn, this barn that we're talking about, before we got there. So, and he recommended Steve. Steve had never heard of us. We called him up on a Monday and asked if he could come in the next Wednesday for the next 6 weeks, and by sheer luck, he was available. Yeah, so
wow,
boom, came right in. We'd never met. He'd never heard of any of our music or anything.
You mentioned Dave Matthews, and before off mic, you talked about John Popper from Blues Traveler. It seems like the music community where you guys are from is such a close-knit community. I mean, do you guys help each other out as far as, like you said, suggesting producers or what have you? I mean, is the community still close-knit as much as it's become so successful now?
Oh, I think we're still good friends with all those guys, and when we see them, we're happy to hang out with them and party and that sort of a thing. But this was sort of a rare instance where it actually became the sort of thing where Dave was able to help us out and point us in a good direction here. Normally we're lucky if we see him on the road a couple times a year, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. Yeah. Now, did you have a chance to see any? When you go out on tour and see any of these guys play, is there any one particular band you like playing with on tour? There you go. There you go. I'm sure I made everyone feel happy that's opened for you in the past. Phish is with us on Modern Rock Live. Here's a single from their brand new CD. This is free on Modern Rock Live. Phish is with us tonight, live from New York. If you got a question for Phish, you can call us right now. Here's the number, 1-800-223-ROCK. That's 1-800-223-7625. Grab a paper and pen, because coming up is an address for you to write down so that you can enter to win one of 6 Sony CD radio cassette recorders with Mega Bass. We'll be back right after this with more of America's #1 alternative music show, Modern Rock Live.
Interactive radio. Modern Rock Live.
The new rock revolution. Y100.
And we're back. This is Modern Rock Live. I'm Tom Calderon. Tonight, joining us live from New York are Phish. They'll be taking your calls and playing cuts from their latest album, Billy Breeze. And coming up in a few minutes, the Refreshments will be joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. Now, everyone who gets on the air tonight with Phish will receive a copy of their brand new CD, courtesy of Elektra Records and Modern Rock Live. If you got a question for tonight's bands, pick up the phone and dial toll-free 1-800-223-ROCK. And remember, 2 lucky callers tonight will receive a fabulous Modern Rock Live T-shirt, courtesy of our good friends at AT&T. We talk now to Jason. Jason, thanks for calling. You're on with Phish on Modern Rock Live.
How you doing?
Doing good.
I was just wondering, well, first of all, you did a great job with the new album. It's, like, very well crafted. But what I wanted to know was when you guys are in concert live, there's, like, a point in time where you like to seem like you're in a zone that's, like, different. It can happen once or it can happen a million times or the whole show or one set or whatever. But what I'm wondering is, what are you guys thinking about during that time? Like, when it's just like you're oblivious to everything else. It just seems like you're in a zone.
Hopefully, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was just going to say that the worst thing that we could be thinking about is, oh, I'm in a zone, because that tends to ruin the zone feeling. And if we're not thinking at all, then it probably seems like a zone like that, and that's the ideal for my perspective.
The worst thing you could do is think.
I think.
Period.
And we actually talk a lot backstage about that. that set wasn't, or that song wasn't as good because we were thinking and we could hear ourselves thinking, and
your brain's getting
you hear each other thinking. Yeah, you get in the way of yourself.
Mike has been doing a lot of lucid dreaming and reading books about lucid dreams. In a lucid dream, you realize that you're dreaming, but you train yourself to not wake up, and in that state you can be conscious in a sense in your dreams and flow through your dreams. So it's kind of a similar thing I was thinking last night when we were playing, that we got into one of those things and suddenly I thought, man, we're cooking, I'm in the zone. And as soon as it's similar to waking up, and how you get excited when you realize you're dreaming and you're waking up. So I hope that answers your question.
Pop. Jason, thanks very much for your phone call. Don't forget the refreshments are coming up just a little bit later. Nicole, you're on with Phish. Thanks for calling.
Hi. Were there any surprises about your recent album in recording or since it's been made?
Any surprises? Can you
elaborate on surprises?
Has anything new happened? I don't know, since that it surprised you that's come out in your music that just said, wow.
Oh, that's good.
For me, I don't know if it was a surprise, but like a direction maybe that's come out, if you're thinking, is space. We've been trying to use space more. The album is spacious, and we started, I think, using space more as a musical tool. And since the album's come out, I've been noticing it in shows. When we do jams, they don't seem as frenetic and thick. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I would agree. Certain songs like "Swept Away" and "Steep" we've been doing live over the last couple nights, and I think that just sort of adds to the just what Trey was saying. Just that those songs require a lot of spaces between the notes.
But less is more. The thing the name of my firstborn.
The thing I want to know, though, is the fact that you did come out and say, okay, we're going to try not to think of the live feel in the studio album.
Definitely.
But in a way, didn't you have to think about how you recorded these songs, how they would sound live, or did that still not matter?
Well, a lot of funny things, interesting. We learned a lot from this whole experience, but a lot of this stuff was recorded at like 6 o'clock in the morning, especially after Steve got there. We were able to, by not producing it ourselves, we were able to concentrate on just playing, and we would play and play. And in this kind of dreamlike state, as the sun was coming up, you'd get these really profound, well, to me they were profound moments. So it was very, I suppose, different in the same. We stopped trying so hard to get the live sound, and by doing that, I think it ended up, we got it.
Worked out anyway. Yeah. Hey, Kim, thanks for calling Modern Rock Live.
Cool.
Hi. When there's disagreements with the band, how do you go about resolving them?
Sometimes.
Is there any fisticuffs?
Occasionally comes to fisticuffs.
Okay,
we try to just talk things out, but occasionally, physical.
I got in a fight with, this is Trey talking, but I got in a fight with Phish once right before a gig. This is back when we used to load our own gear, and we didn't have any crew or anything, and he was always showing up late, so we'd have to set up his drums for him. And one time we lost, and the two of us were outside duking it out, and rolling around in the dirt and everything.
And you guys are such gentle hippies.
I kicked his butt, too.
Yeah. But it was one of the best. We played so great after that. And that's when
we did. It was a great gig.
We need to fight in order to play.
Well, actually, the thing is, then there's
very punk rock of you guys.
Like if one band member acts up or does something that offends all other three, there's this thing we have in the bus, on the tour bus, called the gauntlet. You have to run the gauntlet, where there's like bunks in the middle section of the bus, and so all the other members of and Eric and anyone else who's traveling with us will put on boxing gloves and get in their bunk and draw the curtain so you can't see the people in the bunks, and then the person who offended the group has to run down the center aisle while the boxing gloves randomly come out.
Phish knows this is Mike talking. Phish knows that well because he's the victim.
I'm usually the one that offends the group.
Yeah, what do you do to offend people? I mean, you look such a nice guy.
Looks are deceiving.
He's the victim. He learned it
I am the victim. I learned it from my mother.
Boy, a lot of talks about mom and men beating up each other. I don't know.